So, good morning, students. In this class, we are going to learn about waterfall model. So, it provides three primary important steps. Waterfall model can also use for different projects. If the work is simple, if it is related to small work, then we can use waterfall model part 1. So, in this slide, I am showing you the waterfall model part 1. For designing simple programs and final product, we will use only just two activities or two phases. Phase 1 analysis, phase 2 coding. In analysis part, just we will analyze the requirement. Whatever we analyze, we will put into the coding. Coding is nothing but writing source program for the given requirement. Students, please follow that. If the work is simple, if it is a like a small program or direct code or direct module, then apply waterfall model part 1. Yes, understood? It is very simple. For example, in the classroom, if the teacher is given develop or write a program for sum of three numbers, they are given straight work. At that time, just you analyze how to make sum. Then whatever you have analysis and apply the same thing in the coding in any programming language like C, C++ or Java, whatever it is. So for that purpose, we will use this waterfall model part 1. Next, we will go to waterfall model part 2. Waterfall model part 2 is going to apply for large scale system approach. If the software product or the development of the work is going on different activities, not a specific work, is a combination of is a different tools, at that time we will apply waterfall model 2. Let us see what are different activities in the waterfall model. First one is system requirements. Second step is software requirements. Third one analysis. Fourth one is program design. Fifth one coding. Sixth one testing. And last one is operations. Operations are nothing but deployment. Deployment means the product is to be delivered to the client. It has to be launched in the client side. Then it is known as operations, where the product comes into operation. Operation means working. Okay, we'll go one by one. System requirements, already I told you in the previous class. System requirements are nothing but client requirements. All the requirements you have to gather. Requirements are called R1, R2, R3 and so on, Rn requirements. These are set of requirements. These requirements are also called as sub-problems. These are to be integrated finally. Software requirements. Here you have to think about different software tools required to build the product. Both languages and packages and other tools you have to collect. And analysis, you have to prepare a proper analysis, problem solving techniques you have to use here. Then program design, you have to apply architecture design, algorithm design, database design, everything you have to prepare during program design. Once it is over, the next important activity is called coding. Coding is done by separate team are called teams. Each team is headed by team leader, TL. He will coordinate all the members inside his team. He will follow the day-to-day activities. Once the coding part is over, then it will enter the testing. During testing, all the modules are tested. Finally, the product will be delivered. It is useful for large scale of systems. Big work or large projects, they will follow the waterfall model part 2. Okay. Then the basic framework described in the waterfall model is risky and invites failure because it is a sequential model, as already we discussed in the early class, previous class. Why it is called sequential model? It is a step-by-step design activity. Once first stage is over, we will move to second stage, third stage, and so on, like that. After reaching to final stage, if the product has problems, faced any problems, at that time it is very difficult to control or solve the mistakes, solve the problem, needs more time. That's why waterfall model sometimes becomes failure model because it is a sequential model. The problems which are arise cannot be rectified immediately. We need again time. Okay. Then Winston Rice described 5 improvements to the basic waterfall model. Whatever we discussed in the previous 2 slides, some necessary improvements are suggested by Winston Rice. He described 5 necessary improvements to the waterfall model so that the problems we can solve, we can rectify. The first one is complete program design before analysis and coding begin. Second one is maintain current complete documentation. Third one, do the job twice if possible. Fourth one, plan, control, monitor, testing. Fifth one is involve the customer. Right? According to Winston Rice, he suggested that first complete the program design. Program design is not at all program development. It is architecture. Plan for program architecture before analysis and coding. Before doing coding, coding means writing source lines, writing step by step instructions is called coding. Before doing coding part, you have to finish the complete architecture. Inside the architecture, the architect should provide complete algorithm, database, and necessary tools. Everything should be finished perfectly so that the end product never enter into the risk zone. The product never enter into the risk zone. Once the architecture is strong, strong architecture never fails. Remember, please remember that strong architecture, a good architecture never fails. Okay, it is crucial step. The Winston Rice suggested it is very important step. The first one, complete. Students don't confuse here. Program design means not writing a program. Program design is the overall architecture. Finish the algorithm part and database structure. All modules, things should be provided. This is called architecture. Second, maintain current and complete documentation. You have to maintain the complete documentation. Description is required. The description is related to the client requirements. As for the client needs, each and everything you have to provide description. Once the complete documentation is available, if any development team or members left from the company, the rest of the team or new coming persons can follow easily by going through the documentation. Suppose you finish 50% of work on a particular module. All of a sudden, you shifted to another company. Immediately, the person who joins in your place, they will follow the documentation. Documentation is nothing but the overall description of the software project. Third one, do the job if possible. First, you do the work, recheck, do the work, re-verify, verifying the things which you have done twice, so that you can eliminate the errors, you can eliminate the bugs. So it is a very very good practice. Even that, if you do the whatever the work twice, you can identify the problems you have done in the early stage, so that you can eliminate errors as possible as. Fourth one is plan, control, monitor, testing. It is a management activity. The project managers should thoroughly control the project and monitor. They have to control the schedules. They have to check each and every activity whether things are going on within the schedule or not. So the project's schedules are described in two ways. One is um, major milestones. Second one is minor milestones. So that we will discuss in later topics. Right. Fifth one, involve the customer. Here we need to involve the client as possible as, so that the client will check whether his product is coming as per his needs or not. He can personally check the development of the work, so that the customer also feels happy, because of he is also interact with the development team, so that whatever the needs, so the same one will be provided. Okay. Next class we will follow waterfall model in practice. This we will discuss in the next class. Already we identified the drawbacks of waterfall model in the second class, that we will discuss in the next class. So major waterfall model drawbacks, frequently exhibit the following drawbacks. This we will discuss in the next class. Right.